out there, Internet Land, Jersey Joe. I'm bringing you the Brew live from Canada. Although, from the view behind us right now, you have no idea that we are in Canada. We could be in some random Holiday Inn in Cleveland, Ohio. But no, we're really actually coming to you.
This is actually the next Hostel movie.
Yes, coming from Canada, because a few weeks out on social media put a question out, where do you think is a better place to live, Canada or the U.S.? And it started from our boy Jolie. Let's put that up right now. Jolie commented, he said, how about the lover of troops today? Everybody was there except the lover of troops who's never gone to see troops. What a disgrace. He's talking about Trump blowing off Veterans Day. So that brought up the question. That's the topic for the Brew for Thursday. So that got us started thinking, what's better, Canada or the U.S.? We put this question out on social media, and you guys had a ton of responses. So we're live in Canada right now, bringing you the show live. You can write this off for tax a little bit later. So tell us what you think, those of you joining Canada or U.S. What's better live? What do you think there? We've been here for a little bit of time now. We've got to experience the Canada and the country.
Okay, so first of all, what I want to say to everybody out there is I've only been to Canada one other time, and it's back when I was a kid. We went up through New York into Niagara Falls and the area around it. So this is my first time in Canada as an adult, and it's the first time I've been to Canada as on the West Coast. And this place is amazing. Have you guys ever been to Vancouver? Jesus Christ, monkey dicks. It's a good place. That's all I'm going to say. I like this place right here.
So I've never been to Canada before either, and when our boy Jolie gave us the idea to do this show, I'm like, okay, let's do it. So the comparison for me being here for the time is the people are a lot friendlier. They seem a lot healthier. We met this 80-year-old guy in the street today, and he literally looked like he was like...
Tell him what I said.
You look like you're 60. And the guy's like, no, I'm 80. I'm like...
I said, you look 60 and American.
He looked like great.
And he did. The dude looked like he could run a marathon. Yeah. He did not look 80 for real. And
very friendly, giving us directions. The bartenders here have been very friendly, and even the bar food that we've had so far seems a little bit healthier.
It's not greasy.
Awesome wings. We had a super giant pretzel today. Not greasy.
The tacos I just had were like pretty small and just packed with like veggies and all kinds of good sauces and shit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that if I ate the same version of the food in America here, I wouldn't even be fat.
I mean, I know we're in Vancouver, I know we're on the west coast of Canada, but so far having a great trip, but the people themselves are generally friendlier walking around. Yeah, they're smoking pot out in the open, but you know what? There's no problems. Nobody's going crazy. The world's not coming in because they're out in the street smoking pot. So you know what?
Everybody's polite. There's no violence. There's no trash.
And they're happier.
We haven't found a fucking bad thing about it here, honestly.
And that's coming from two average Americans from coast to coast, you know.
Not just average Americans with perspective.
Yeah.
Me and him travel city to city. I've been doing it for 4 years straight for like almost every month. Joe's been doing it all the time too. We've been all over the country in America, and it's really hard to compare. Like American shit is gonna have to get like step your shit up.
It's an interesting eye opener, especially when you spend some time here away from a place where you've never really been and see how the people are. I know every place has their own problems. Look, we get that, but so far what we found, you know, as tourists, it's been pretty cool, pretty nice. So what do you guys think? Let's get a couple of your comments right now because a lot of you had a lot to say about this. So Craig writes in and he says, "Is this seriously a question?" Robin Williams always said, "Canada is like a loft apartment over a really great party feel." Oh, feel free to use that in the show. Yeah, so all right, Canada's like a loft apartment over a really great party. All right, Robin Williams from Canada. Oh, you know one other great actor from Canada who's brilliant, who lives in the United States? William Shatner. Genius.
That's Shatner. His boy. That is definitely...
He's my boy.
Yeah.
You don't screw with Captain Kirk.
We're still living by. You heard it first, Jersey Joe.
He beat the Klingons. More of your comments right now because Cody United writes in and says, "Oh, USA, we have summer." Well, it's...
Hold on. Andy's cool.
From Vegas.
Yes, he's a Las Vegan like me. But we also have like USA. We have summer. Yeah, Canada has winter.
Brutal winter.
Yeah, well, that's not my point. Like, if you're gonna use USA as we have summer, then Canada has winter. USA has summer. Canada has winter. That's the point that he's trying to make.
To follow that up, though, like, no matter where you live, you get used to the climate. Like, you know, I deal with New York climate all the time. You freak out in Vegas when there's snow. When it happens in New York...
No, I don't.
Well, you know what I mean. Vegans do. But, you know, like, New Yorkers are like, okay, yeah, we're going to school, there's snow. But in Las Vegas, they lose their crap. But to flip that the other way...
Rain, too, by the way. So, and it's not just Vegas. It's southern states.
Yeah.
If some 2 inches of snow hits the ground anywhere in California...
It stops the world.
Well, maybe not northern, but anywhere in southern, the southwest, Arizona, good God, it's a snow day, 2 days, 2 inches in on
the other part of that is, though, but you heat up New York, we all melt in the summer. Oh, I can't handle it's too hot, need air conditioner. Whereas you guys in Vegas can walk out
and we're just like, hey, there's a pool party. Hey, you guys want to get up?
It's a great Tuesday afternoon here. All right, more of your comments.
True.
More of your comments there. Mr. Najafi writes in and says, Canada. There's your boy Milsey. What's he say?
Canada, free healthcare. Unlikely to get shot at school. True. Longer work paid holidays, 15 days.
Ooh.
Still behind the UK average of 25, but it's better. Actually, when Sean was in Vegas, he was telling me that
Where's
the
he
man...
from?
He's from the UK. He's from
Okay.
Wirral, which is just west of Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
Still behind the UK average of 25, but it's better. When I was talking to him, I'm not really sure if this is true, but according to him, he had 7 weeks. 7 weeks paid vacation is the minimum in the UK.
Damn.
So the closer that Canada is to the UK, I mean, I feel like that's a good thing worker-wise. You're going to want to come back into work fresh and ready and happy.
You're rested.
You're rested.
Yeah.
You're fresh.
Whereas a lot of US
If you have a
workers-
good job, you have to think to do your job. And if you're burnt out all the time, you're not going to think okay. You're not going to think people driving 34 hours, people that have been awake 34 hours, truckers, the dude that hit Tracy Morgan and killed his friend, the dude in the Walmart truck. That dude was up for 34 hours. He's just one example, but it's as bad as driving drunk. The time off matters. The time being away from work matters. Yeah. Watching the show, anybody watching the show, do you feel like you're burnt out at work? Do you feel like you're going to go crazy? Yeah, you do.
Everybody does.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Every single human I've ever talked to.
Well, the new
does.
answer to that is a lot of companies do now is, oh, you're freelance. You know, they don't. There's not a lot of staff positions anymore. It's more freelance. So fine, you know, take time off when you want, but you're not getting paid. Well, when you have a family at home, you need to put food on the table. Yeah, you're going to work those 7 extra days because you need the money. So, you know,
and wages are at record lows.
Yeah.
People need 2 jobs.
But that's
the dude I fucking got a ride from at Lyft in Denver in August. Dude makes $125K a year and has to drive Lyft.
that's capitalism for you. I mean,
That's
that is
fucking wild.
definitely so.
So, good comment.
Let's bring up the point, though. The bartender downstairs here at our hotel we were talking to last night was talking about, too, the healthcare for workers and how she gets, 2 frames of glasses for a year, and how, because they pay, she doesn't pay much for healthcare. So she was, saying how great the healthcare was here in Canada compared to U.S. And it was also blown away by the fact that we told her that there's bars in the States, as they call it here, that are cash only. She's like, what? We pay to the bar here.
Yeah, I
they
told
hand
her
you the
there's
credit card
places in the
machine.
United States that are still cash only, and it was like she got shot.
And then also, when we swipe their credit card, they actually hand you the machine. You put your tip on that for a percentage. You don't sit there
And that
fill
was
or sit
it.
and sign. So she was advocating for the health care, the better working environment for her, and then also the credit card, too. So far, I mean, the Canadians we've
Canada's
talked
up
to here,
a little bit.
They are up over here. Let's see if more of you guys agree, though, because Burrow writes in and he says, which country has its population spread like a fine of toothpaste at the border of the other? Ooh. And then he also sends a gif of some...
I think that's
happy
probably
hillbillies.
weather-based. It's
No,
not
he's
wrong.
talking about the line of refugees trying to get into Mexico from U.S. and how the U.S. has sent troops down there to block them. And he's saying, well, Canada doesn't do that. Moving on from there, because Mia writes in and says, that's a tough one. U.S. has incredible possibilities, but Canada has the ultimate peace. Question is, does one really have to choose between 150 restaurants for a night out, or do 3 good ones do? On the other hand, how do you know you've reached its peak if you're experienced 3, but there are 150 out there? Well, I mean, okay, yeah, sure.
That's kind of off subject and kind of
I think it also depends where
ambiguous
you
question.
live. If you live in a city, then you have hundreds of restaurants. If
Completely.
you live in the country, you have 3 options.
So what she's saying is those 3, probably a lot of people watching this live in a small town where there's 3 good restaurants. I've lived in big cities and small towns. I prefer big cities, and the reason is those 3 small ones, they matter if you've grown up in that small town and these are your go-tos and your comfort is in the knowledge of, I know what I'm going to get at all of these. Now, if you're like us, where we like to explore, or the general population, you're probably going to want to find something new after 3, or even if that's not the reason, maybe you want to expand your perspective a little bit. That's the reason, definitely, for us. When we travel, we try and hit as many as possible. So this is kind of, you can get people on either side of this one. On the other hand, yeah. So she's kind of, that's why I say this is an ambiguous question. This one is actually kind of not really, this is a subjective thing the viewer has to decide for themselves.
The point that'll help with that is, just like we're doing Get Out and Travel, we're seeing Canada here for the first time, giving you our perspective and what
Best
we
answer.
think about it.
Better answer than mine.
If it's up to you, if you have this idea, if you're happy in your small town, that's fine. But if you are curious to see what it's like in other countries, then go ahead and travel. It's so easy now to do. Even if you don't have to hire a travel agent. Go on the internet and go to Expedia and push a few buttons, and you can book a flight and you're on your way in no time at all. It's up to you to go out and go ahead and do that. Especially if you can afford it, go ahead and try it. If not, even just go get a hotel in some other city for one night close to you, drive for an hour if you can't afford it, and just have a night out and at least experience something else outside of your comfort bubble there. And maybe they'll give you a different perspective as to what it is.
Yeah, the more places that me and Joe end up going to, the more perspective we gain. Vamos Yankees. If Canada was so great, why did all those celebrities that promised to move there when Trump won stayed in the United States?
Good question. I don't have the answer to that.
Everybody always does that every election.
They do make those promises, and you're right.
It's
and
not
then,
just celebrities, it was me too. I was like, f this shit.
That's
I'm
actually
out.
a good question. How
And
many?
but most of the population does that. Like,
Yeah, they never actually.
it
Really
doesn't
followed
even
through
matter
and did
what
that.
side you're on politically. That's you could look up tweets. Fucking do it now.
Well,
It's on my. I'm not even gonna delete my timeline. You go look at my old shit. But like, that's on everybody's fucking timeline. And if they don't have a timeline, they said it in person. And if they denied they said it in person, they're a fucking liar, and you shouldn't trust them.
Well, let's not talk about people making promises during election time, because people will say anything to get a vote and get their voice out there. Then once the election's over, all of a sudden we kind of just go back to normal ways. I mean, how many politicians promise lower taxes and then that's their thing and then it never happens? So, you know what? People make promises at campaign time. It is what it is. Let's go to the poll right
Yeah,
now, 'cause
I would say.
that's always a big thing right now. You know what? We put this out on social media. Which country is a better place to live?
Yeah.
Canada, the U.S.? Now, him and I have followers across both countries, more so probably in the U.S. though. 59% of them said Canada. 41% of you said the U.S. is a
Da
better
da da
country.
da.
I would not have put money down on that. I thought maybe people are getting tired of living in the U.S.
I
mean,
think I'm not really. I'm a little bit surprised too. I think most people in the United States just have grown up with the whole. The U.S. is the best. I know that shit was hammered in my head as a kid.
we had a bartender telling us that about an hour ago here.
Yeah, we had a bartender like, "Oh, United States is the bomb. They fucking bomb everybody." And it's like, does that mean it's better to live there? I mean, there's a lot of countries that you don't have to bomb
Yeah.
anyone and have way higher rates of. They
Yeah.
pay less for healthcare. They live longer. They have free education. There's a lot of shit around the world that's better than the United States. I want to say one thing though.
Yeah, plus and minus.
My last main point. I found something. Joel Rahaley, found something in Canada. One thing that you guys have here in Canada that isn't as good as it is in the United States.
Oh, I know what it is, but go ahead.
You guys don't have Lyft and Uber. You got taxis, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, that hasn't happened here yet. The
Grow up.
taxi union has a hold on this place, and
It's the only subject I can tell you to grow up in, so I'm going to fucking enjoy doing it.
yeah.
Everything else, it's us that has to grow up. But you guys, fucking get Uber and Lyft. Get Lyft specifically.
Look, I mean, it's been a great experience here so far. I mean, the people look healthier walking around. I'm going to say
Every
that. I mean, we're
single
in
goddamn
Vancouver,
human
they
being
look
we've
great.
seen looks better than
The
everybody in
healthcare
America.
is not as bad of a nightmare. Like, my boss was talking about she wanted, like, this cream for her arm that is, like, hundreds of dollars in the U.S. that she knows that you can get here in Canada for, like, $20. Like, things are paid for better. Definitely, like, the healthcare system in the U.S. is out of control. It's us common folk are screwed on that end. So they seem to have that figured out here. But you know what? I mean, it's kind of almost like a little bit of a happier version of the U.S., I'm going to say. But would I jump up
People
to
here are definitely happier, without question.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm going to jump up here right now and move to the U.S. I love New York, live in New York. I think it's great. You love Vegas, obviously. We're not going to move, so make it your own to where it is. But you know what? It's a big debate, and we're not going to solve it in this web show, obviously. But it's fun to share opinions.
It's okay to admire people who are different than you are.
That's right. There you go. That's
Bottom line.
That's a good philosophy. The other bottom line is click that like or subscribe button down below. More episodes of this web show, Kicking Back Jersey Joe and Online Gambling Jersey Joe, all on this fine web channel. And those of you watching live in Periscope, appreciate you guys sending in your comments. And we're going to continue our Canadian trip right now. We're heading out to the Golden Knights versus Canucks game, so hopefully we survive this one. No, people here are friendly. I think we'll be fine. But,
Yeah, if not, well, this is where we died, and I hope you guys enjoyed our last show.
I think the funny thing is they don't have as many, as the point said, there aren't as mass shootings up here as there are in America anymore. So you know,
They have none.
kind of
They don't
scary.
have
Like,
any.
am I going to make it to work on Monday? Sometimes I wonder. You know, I don't know. But all right, not to leave it on a cold note. But Jersey Joe, Ian here. Thanks for watching. See you next time. I hope.